Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. So the Washington Commanders narrowly beat the New Orleans Saints 20-19. It was a game they should have won by a lot more than they did, but it came down to literally 0 seconds on the clock, and we'll talk about that because there was some shady things going on, at least on the NFL's end, with the clock stopping for a few seconds. That fourth down conversion. But we'll talk about that in a second. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe. We're less than 200 subscribers away from 14,500. So go ahead and hit that button. It takes 1 second and it is free. But let's get right into it. This is a game, again, like I said, it should not have been this close. 14-0. 14-0 going into half. And it could have been more. The defense was playing well the first half. The offense was playing well as well. And yeah, the second half was just not good. And sorry, drank a bunch of water, so I know it's a little hard to talk. But the Commanders scored 6 points in the second half. So many opportunities were wasted. Terry open for like a 60 or whatever it was, like a 60+ yard touchdown. Jayden completely overthrows him on that one. There's no debate on that pass. That's 100% on Jayden Daniels. He needs to make that pass. And he had a good game. He was 25 for 31, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 66 rushing yards. So me criticizing him on a couple throws doesn't mean I'm not a big Jayden Daniels fan that I wasn't before the draft. And I don't think he had a good game because he did have a good game. He was good in this game. But that was not his finest throw. And then, I don't know, maybe a possession or two later on the right side, I didn't get to see it too many times. People were saying maybe Terry slowed down a little bit, but if Jayden hits him with a little bit more touch and doesn't overthrow it, that's 6 as well. That's 60 yards. And there was one other play. That one I also didn't get a great look at. There was a bunch of other things happening at the crib when, after or before that affected me a little bit while that was going on. So I wasn't paying attention completely. But it looked like, it was a good play by the DB, and maybe Terry could have caught it there at the end, but it would have been a spectacular catch. But I would say the first one, definitely on Jayden. The second one, Jayden definitely could have thrown it better. Maybe Terry could have caught it. It, went off his fingertips. But Terry, he's having a heck of a season. 7 catches, 73 games in this, or 7 catches, 73 yards in this game on 10 targets, 2 touchdowns. The 3 other targets could have been touchdowns. So I like that they were targeting him deep. Zacchaeus, 3 catches, 36 yards on 4 targets. Had a touchdown that got wiped off the board. Let's talk about the end of the game, though. Commanders attempt a 54-yard field goal. Zane Gonzalez missed it wide right. It wasn't a great snap. Tyler Ott has not been good as of late. The hold was fine, and it was just wide right. And Zane Gonzalez during the game, he was, I believe, 2 for 4. I can't remember the other miss, though, but my roommate was saying that he missed it. But again, there was some other things going on, so I must have just missed that one. And I saw something where the play clock expired or something, and he missed it, but they kicked it again or something. Tressway was fine, 3 punts, 138 yards. One inside the 20. I thought Jameson Crowder was solid as a returner. I liked seeing him out there. Luke McCaffrey had a nice run a nice return, a 34-yard return. But I didn't like, and back to the point, I didn't really like them kicking that field goal there. I know it is a 54-yarder, but the operation hasn't been great all day, and you don't necessarily trust that kicker. So to have him kick a 54-yard field goal, I don't know if that's the best move. For the Commanders to make. But hey, they did it, and it didn't work out, and the Saints went down less than 2 minutes, 1 minute, whatever, 20 seconds, 1 minute, 30 seconds, ran the ball a few times, passed it a couple of times, and they got down, they scored, they went for 2, was really nervous because that would have been a really bad loss, and they end up missing the 2-point conversion. They passed it, I believe it was to Juwan Johnson. He could have caught it, but it would have been a really tough catch to make. But yeah, Marshawn Lattimore in this game, absolute dog. I don't think he was targeted one time. So he helped eliminate one side of the field. I think that'll continue to happen. This week was easier because, Saints receivers aren't as good, and he's playing up against these guys in practice a lot, but so are, they're playing against him in practice. So it's kind of even, but I'm excited to see him against a better receiver like, Drake London or A.J. Brown, see what he does against them. But it was a great, great game by him. Mike Sanders still had a pick, great interception. Almost had another one. He dropped one. There was a lot of miscues in this game. This game shouldn't have been close, to be honest. It should not have been close. I talked about the Terry and Jayden kind of mishaps a couple of times. There was the missed field goals. There was a Frankie Louvu dropped interception. It would have been tough, but should have made that. A Mike Sanders still interception, could have made that one. So many penalties. 2 roughing the passers at least, which, I mean, one of them was questionable at minimum. There was a couple PI, or was there any PIs? There was something that Benjamin St. Juste did, I think, illegal hand to the face. Of course, like one play comes in, that happens. Jeremy Chin got hurt. Zach Ertz got hurt too. So hopefully those guys are good. It looks like concussions for both of those guys. Jeremy Chin was good in the game, 7 tackles, a sack, 2 TFLs. Wagner didn't have a sack, but he was in on one with Chin, but they gave the credit to Chin on that one. Armstrong had a sack, and then Deron Pan had a sack. They had 3 sacks. The offensive line was not very good today. The New Orleans Saints had 8 sacks in this game. Demario Davis had a sack. Amadi had a sack. Cameron Jordan had 2+ sacks. Carl Ganderson had a sack. Chase Young had 2 sacks. Like, they were getting a ton of sacks. Willie Gay had 1 sack. So they were getting sacks on us, and we were missing Tyler Biadasz out there. We were missing Tyler Biadasz out there for sure. So hopefully he's back next week. I mean, he will be. It was an illness. He was whatever. But yeah, he was missed out there. Run game was decent. Jayden 66 yards. Brian Robinson was actually, the run game wasn't that good. Robinson 65 yards. On 21 carries. Jerry McNichols 2 for 4, and Chris Rodriguez 1 for 2. I'd like to see Chris Rodriguez getting a couple more carries. The clock thing at the end was very interesting. I'm looking at the screen right now, so I'm not recording on my computer. It's on my phone, but the clock, and shout out to my roommate from DMV Sports Zone, Abdullah. Make sure you guys check him out. He got Insta, got YouTube, DMV Sports Zone, but he mentioned, like, he thought the clock stopped, and you watch it back, it looks like, so this is the last 10 seconds, because the Saints called their last time out after a run play. I don't know why they ran the ball, and Foster Moreau gets a, Spencer Rattler has a nice completion of Foster Moreau, and he catches it. Sorry, let me mute this. He catches it with about 13 seconds, and then he's down at 12 seconds, and that is when, and the clock doesn't stop on a first down. This isn't college. So the clock stops at 9 seconds for no reason. And then it's about 3 seconds worth of stoppage time. That's sus. That's a little sus, I'm not going to lie. And the clock stopped for 3 seconds. And guess how many seconds were on the clock when they hiked the ball? 3 seconds. So the game should have been over. It really should have been over. I really see, this is the type of thing that doesn't get a lot of national media attention a lot, because it's a 1 o'clock game. It's, not a prime time. It's not a matchup between 2 elite teams. So I don't think it's going to get a lot of attention, to be honest, but it should, because this is weird. I want to hear their explanation on it. So sorry if I'm not looking at the screen again, looking at the computer. Or sorry if I'm not looking at my phone. I'm looking at the computer right now, trying to piece it together and see how much time on the clock really went off. I believe it was around 3. Yeah, it was like 3 seconds-ish. So it was weird. It didn't affect it at the end of the day because we won, but it could have. If they made that 2-point conversion, we get a loss because of a interesting play like that for sure. But overall, Jayden was good in this game. 25-31, 226 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Again, he got to clean up some of those deep balls a little bit better. And then that fumble, it was the first drive of the game, I believe, maybe the second. He fumbled it. That was very risky and not very smart by him. He's on top of the guys, which is that, whatever. You're on top still. You're on top of the pile. You can still try to get in the end zone, but don't put extend the ball and just let the safety or whoever just, flick it out of your hand. And that's what Tyrann Mathieu did. But Jeremy McNichols, shout out to him, made or he came up with the ball. De'Ami Brown was good in this game, 3 catches, 30 yards, had a, nice catch that was wiped off because of a Nick Allegretti penalty. Crowder, 3 catches, 27 yards. Zach Ertz had a nice one-handed catch. Then that's where he got hurt. Ben Sennett got a catch for 7 yards. Like to see more out of him. John Bates, 1 catch, 6 yards. That was a big catch. And then Luke McCaffrey and Jay McNichols, both 1 catches for 0 yards. Nothing much there. And yeah, fumbles. So we went over most of it. Derek Forrest was getting a lot of playing time. He's the one who allowed that reception at the end. I thought Noah Igbenogany played pretty well in this game. Jordan McGee was getting some run at defense and also getting some special teams tackles. So that was good to see. And that's kind of it for today's video. Not a great win, but it's a win nonetheless. They're at 9-5. They win 2 more games. They're basically guaranteed in, but you got to play better than this. Yeah, you just got to. This game should not have been that close, and I think they know it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.